Good morning and welcome to this health professional training. How is everyone? Today we're going to talk about actually going ahead and presenting products to patients and the follow-up system. So as we go ahead and just grab some of our friends, we're going to do that, which is going to be a lot of fun. If you guys don't know me, I am Sarah Tugender, the Director of Sales with Nutrimetrics. And I have been helping providers sell products in their practices since 2006. How crazy is that? And I have to say, it's only gotten easier. That has been one of the things that I've noticed is that it's gotten easier. And do you know why it's gotten easier? I do have to say it's because of technology. It truly is. It truly is because technology just makes things simpler. The follow-up system, I'll tell you what I mean about that as we go through this, but the follow-up process specifically, you really can leverage the internet. And we didn't have websites like we have today. When I started, we had a static website. I used to tell people, you can look at the website. There was no Nutrimetrics website. I used to say, you can look at my website, but you'll just have to get in touch with me if you want to buy anything. That was because e-commerce was so much more expensive than it is today. And let's go here on broadcast. Right here we go. Let's see if this is going to work so we can do this too. Oh, perfect. Okay. Great. So, just because the technology wasn't there to be able to do that. So now it's so nice that we have that technology. We have e-commerce. It makes it really simple just to be able to retail products, to be able to follow up with patients on that product. So I've got some great people here with us live today, or if you're watching this on the replay, or you're watching this in our health professional learning management system, happy that you're here and you're doing this because it's an important topic. So let's just talk about, it's definitely one thing, if you guys walked into a practice before and it's an absolutely gorgeous practice. I can think of one, and it's in a medical office building. And even from the hallway, when you walk through, you can see the gorgeous glass displays with all the different product lines, including Nutrimetrics, but other lines. And they're all behind, a lock and key in one of those curio cabinets. So beautiful there. And you would think that that account does thousands and thousands of business volume just based on the fact that their display is so gorgeous. But you would actually, make the wrong bet if that was the bet that you were making. And they actually don't. And so it's one thing just to put a product on a shelf or to have a gorgeous flowing social media post. But it's another thing to make a meaningful connection, to introduce the right product to the right patient at the right time and follow up with the sale. So that's what I want to talk about here today. I want to talk about how to create a process in your practice to not only introduce a product, but how to successfully have the patient order that product, how to have them how to successfully introduce it to the patient, have them successfully order, reorder, and have the potential for increased customer share with additional products. It's really important. Now, yesterday, or one of the previous modules I think you've seen is from Brandy Murphy. So I want you to review that because her training on how to use the unfranchised back office for health professionals and for staff is going to have a lot of really useful tools for you that you're going to want to pull from and you're going to want to reference as you share products with patients. So in this training, I'm going to say, and you can go into your downloads and you can pull this download, or we have this sales aid, or you have this tool. But if you don't know how to access those tools, this isn't going to be as meaningful for you. So it's going to be really important for you to go in and access that training. Again, if you're watching this live, she did it yesterday. Otherwise, it's going to be one of the previous modules in this LMS. All right, but for everyone who is following along, I either want you to, you already have a piece of paper, I'm sure, out and a pen because Smart people take notes. I do know that. So if you're on with me live right here, just put in the chat answers to these questions. Otherwise, I want you to think of this yourself, okay? I want you to think about what I'm saying and write it down or stick it here in the chat. Do you want patient ordering to be hard or do you want it to be easy? Put it in the chat. Hard or do you want it to be easy? Do you want patients to have to chase you down for products? Or do you want them to leave with products in hand that they've already paid for? That sounds like a better thing. Oh, easy as pie. Do you want them to have to chase you down or leave with products that they've paid for? Sandra says, want them to chase me down. Maybe that's the wrong terminology. I guess I mean, do you want them to fumble through on how to do it and have to ask you a million questions and chase after you? Or do you want it just to be a really easy peasy, it all happens within the appointment? But I understand. I totally understand what you mean by that, Sandra. Do you want to have to put a lot of energy into follow-ups, or do you want to teach and empower your patients on placing reorders? Do you want this to be a ton of energy, or do you really want to teach and empower your patients? Okay, it seems like we're all on the same page here, that we want to teach and empower. We want this to be easy. We want patients leaving with products that they've paid for, which means they've invested in it. And one of the biggest things is we don't have a lot of time right now in healthcare. Unfortunately, our traditional medical model with insurance has made it so you need to see such a high volume of patients with such a high pace. Doesn't leave a lot of breathing room. It doesn't leave a lot of breathing room for those extras that you feel like this might be. Doesn't leave a lot of breathing room to take a product and explain to a patient how to properly take it, the benefit of it. And so you're coming up against a lot of resistance. I get it, because your day is full. But when you take the time to plan out your process, this is going to be a customized process that's going to reflect your practice brand, your practice flow. I'm telling you, if we can take a little bit of time right now and do this exercise together, it's going to save you so much more time in the long run. Top retailers in Nutrimetrics put in the little bit of extra work up front to create their office flow and have that include Nutrimetrics. So isn't it more important for you to stay on that hamster wheel, or are you looking for residual income? I was on with a provider who did this exercise with me a few weeks ago, and I was just on with her 2 nights ago, and she said she has a retail goal. Every single week she wants to retail $400. And she said on Sunday, she had 2 orders come through on her website. These 2 orders equaled $400. She was like, I hit my goal on the first day. I think it's time to up the goal. When you think about that retail profit that just hit her account on Sunday, that's a great way to start the week. She's had a busy summer with the kids. I took my kids last night to the drive-in movie, and I have little kids. And so a little bit goes a long way with little kids, right? I went to Trader Joe's and bought them some organic popcorn to take to the movies, and mixed a little lemonade in their water bottles. And, we had a little bit of fun, but I'm looking at, there were kids, preteens next to me, and all their moms handed them $20 bills. I'm like, I got little kids. Is it going to be $50 bills by the time my kids are preteens? I mean, what's it going to be? I remember when a couple bucks got you a long way. And it's just not like that anymore. So it's nice to have that little bit of extra cash flow. And that's just in my life. I'm not even talking about, what it costs to run a medical practice, all these extra expenses that are there. It's really nice when you have another stream of income that can passively come in. And it's not passive at first. It's going to be a little bit of upfront work first. So I'm going to teach you a couple different steps. I'm going to just talk about, the the normal office flow. Then I'm going to tell you how we can introduce Nutrimetrics to this. I'm going to give you then, some 3 really important tips that I think make retail easier. So let's start with normal office flow. And you can write this down or chart this out. We have flow charts also on downloads as a resource for you. So you can pick the flow chart that matches up. They're actually in TLS, but it's very similar. You can customize it whether you're doing TLS, you're just talking about regular isotonics. So let's talk about any flow. And it doesn't matter if you are whatever kind of ologist you are. If you're a cardiologist, a gynecologist, a pediatrician, a ophthalmologist, a massage therapist, a physical therapist. Normal office flow is you have an office. The patient is coming to you. Patient's going to check in. I don't care if it's even just you. You're the massage therapist. It's one room and they walk in. Uh-oh, my little friend is going to make some noise in the background. Let's see if we can, sorry about that. Let's see. All right, awesome. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to check in. They're then going to sit and wait sometimes. I know that doesn't always happen. Sometimes, again, but even in my massage therapist, sometimes I got to sit and wait while she changes out the room, or she goes to get something or grabs a glass of water. There's oftentimes some sitting and waiting. And then there's going to be, the provider visit, whatever that is. So you're going to see the provider, get your massage, get your therapy, whatever that is going to happen. And then there typically is an action item. People are going to a provider because there is something going on, right? There's some ailment. They are concerned, even if it's just a general wellness check, they're just concerned about keeping generally well. So there is some kind of action item, even if it's keep doing what you're doing. And then that patient is going to go to check out, is going to, leave the situation, book their next appointment, whatever money needs to be exchanged, and that's it. All right, so that's the way that every single office flows. So I want you to think about how this works in your office. All right, let's take that office flow and now let's insert Nutrimetrics. So let's start with the patient coming in. When they come in, do you have a display? Do you have something where they walk in? Do you have something on the wall? Do you have a little side table? This could be something that's seasonal. I've seen really cute things where people will have a little skeleton or skull over Halloween, and maybe there's an OPC3 chew in his mouth or something. I have seen, really cute things in February with hearts and cardiovascular health. I mean, it can be kitschy and cutesy like that. It could also just be, this is the product or focus of the month. Something that might just be a little bit more seasonal. Something that is, makes more sense because it's the summer, or it's, back to school. So it's stress, and so there could be any kind of theme, or it literally just could be something that's important to the provider that week. You just discovered the powerful benefits of astaxanthin and you want to make a whole astaxanthin display. When it changes, think about it. I love walking into like my favorite retail stores. Okay. Whether I walk into, and I know one of my favorites, I really do love the Gap and the way their displays change when I walk by. I love how they have like similar branding, but it's always a little different. And they take, their logo and they do different things with it. And I always kind of stop and just take a look, and I'm like, wow, that's eye-catching. When I go to New York City, to go by the window displays are so gorgeous. Especially during Christmas time, but even in normal times, and to see what the trends are and to see how they've changed that up, that's a whole outing just to do that. So that kind of marketing works. I always take clues from big brands. That marketing works. It has someone stop and think, and it does just reinforce that, there's going to be some kind of conversation about products, wellness, something. When you check in, are you using our wellness intake form? You can find the wellness intake form in 2 places. One of them is in the Health Professional Implementation Guide. but it is also a standalone download. I think it's formatted a little bit better as a standalone download. So look there as a standalone download. All right. And that's going to, even if you just incorporate some of those questions into your wellness intake form, but look at that. You're going to sit and wait. What's in front of you? Is it People Magazine? Is it Good Housekeeping? Or is it a Nutrimetrics catalog, a patient brochure binder? Is it our wellness goals brochures? All things you can find on downloads, all things you can have resources for, or the catalog and the wellness goals brochures you're going to order. But, you know, there's lots on downloads, infographics, things you can make binders with, or even some other industry magazines that might make sense, that show that we're talking about wellness, we're talking about health, fitness magazines, as opposed to People Magazine. Then you're going to go ahead and see the provider. Okay, so that happens. You get your treatment, you have your visit, and the provider, this is really important. You just need to listen for those little cues that are going to be able to bring up wellness. Or you might be prompted from the wellness intake form. Wow, I see that you're not feeling that great in this category. You know, let's talk about this. And that's all it needs to be. Because then, you know, when you give them their action item, it's as simple as saying, you know, here, I want you to go to the pharmacy and pick up this prescription. This is how you're going to take it. In addition, I would really like to see you on an antioxidant. I mean, you've indicated here that you're, you know, into natural remedies. Supplementation is a possibility for you. As a convenience, we actually carry it right here, so you don't have to make another stop. You know, we have income disclaimers if a provider would like to have that. Some people put it right on their intake form. I might recommend some supplements. I sell them in-house. I do make a profit off of it. Real simple. And then there we go. And to go to the front desk, ask for the product, you know, or some kind of level of accountability. I'm going to have my wellness coordinator actually follow up with you on this. I would like to see you get enrolled in our next weight loss program. Mary's going to give you a call to give you the details. That happens. I left my pediatrician appointment the other day, and no one knew if I was coming back in 2 months or 3 months. The doctor didn't even know. And I don't know if it was like an insurance thing or what it was, but she was like, just go to the front and ask them. The doctor had no idea. When I got to the front, it was like chaotic with another patient. And she goes, I'll call you. I'm expecting a call. That's totally normal. So if it was the same thing, if there was something where it was, you know, Duke needed some digestive support and the doc was running out, listen, I don't want to spend another minute in that doctor's office. I'd rather talk to them over the phone afterwards. If it takes a couple minutes, I get those kind of triage calls a lot. And then it's another level of accountability. Now, it's also really nice when you can make it so when, you know, if I sat there and I made the next follow-up and a product was recommended, that I walk out having paid for that product and I walk out with it. So let me give you 3 tips. One is that it's really important that the advice comes from the provider. Really, really important. This really can't be done from someone else. This can't be just like Mary's going to talk to you and figure out the product. It's got to be very directed from the provider. It can't just be go on the website and think about what you might want to order. It has to be, you know, I make up little notepads, prescription pads for my providers. I think that's really important that they have something that's written down that's a note. The second thing is it's really important that any objection that the provider hears, whether it's about the delivery system, I don't like to take pills, I don't like to drink my vitamins, maybe disbelief, I don't believe in vitamins, maybe the price, whatever the objection could be noted in the chart for follow-up or addressed by the health professional or staff. It doesn't have to always be done there, but you know, sometimes, did we always buy everything on the first try? Did we always follow the advice on the first go around? I got a new device for clenching my teeth and my jaw, and I'm supposed to wear it 14 hours a day. I get in maybe about like 10, 11, 12 on a good day. I keep trying for that 14 hours. It doesn't mean I don't believe in it, but I keep needing those reminders, needing those anchors. This is going to be the same way. My third best tip with this is that the first time a patient orders, that first bottle comes out of inventory, that you're reaching around from the shelf, taking that bottle, and they're walking out with a package. So let's brainstorm together. So if you want to play around in the chat or with your notebook, let's brainstorm some things that can be used for effective follow-up. What are some things that can be emailed, can be put in the mail, can be handed to a patient, can be given on the next patient visit that are going to be really effective? One of the things I love is the how to take isotonics. If you Google that, we have 2 different forms, one in a postcard and one in a 8x10. What is a normal piece of paper? A normal piece of paper size on how to take isotonics. Yeah, Judy says a trial pack, like a sample of a complementary product. You know, if they're going to buy OPC3 in a value size bottle, maybe daily essentials. I have a lot of customers personally that will buy both the bottles for convenience and the daily essentials packets if they're traveling. That's how I use them. How about a phone call? How you taking it? Any questions? How about an email series? You know, even a simple free MailChimp account can be scheduled to send out emails. And I know a lot of the electronic medical record email systems have treatment follow-ups that can be programmed. What if you know, every new person who bought isotonics, you follow up 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, 28 days for reorder? How about bringing it up in the next appointment? Actually writing down what the patient's on, you know, especially too, if they go online and they start a new product. Do you have staff member that's entering it into the chart? And so is the provider saying, I just noticed that you started on probiotics. How's it going? How about sending videos to reinforce, you know, even videos on the same product that they're on, just to reinforce that? Hey, guess what? They might share those videos with friends too. How about like a VIP group? You know, anyone who purchases products gets to be into a VIP Facebook group, and maybe there you share extra health tips. You go live like once a month. I like things that are scheduled like a TV show, so they can expect, you know, that the last Friday of every month, they know their provider is going to go live. You know, it could be something as simple as just like, I'm on a walk and this is what I'm thinking of. This is what I'm cooking in my kitchen. They love that. Be really clear as to who is servicing those customers. Who do they call if they have questions? How about handwritten notes? You know, if they place a reorder, thank you so much for your loyalty to our office. How about a catalog, especially if, you know, maybe on every first order or every order over $200. Every first order, maybe one of those isotonics cups. So, you know, it's really branded. They know they have their special cup that they use for it every single morning. My favorite thing is when they walk out with product the first time, that it's in a gift bag, maybe with the logo of a sticker logo from the practice, with, you know, the tissue paper in brand colors, like a really nice thing with maybe a sample inside, the flyer on how to take isotonics, a cup if it's their first time. You know, these are things that we can do. So I want you to think about this. I'm going to give you homework to think about your office and write down your unique office flow. How can you add Nutrimetrics into the office flow? And then write down a list of what resources do you need to bring up products to patients and to follow up. Do you need flyers? Do you need handouts? Do you need to know where these are? Do you need to go back and review Brandy's webinar? You know, who can help you? Write down that as an inventory. So your office flow, what resources you need, and who can help you. Is there staff members? Is there NCs that can help pull this together? Maybe your wife helps work in the practice with you. Is there someone else? You know, just think about that. You need to hire someone else. Is it worth it to you? Would it be worth it to you to hire someone on a part-time basis to help you with this. You know, with the potential, you've seen the profit calculator from your Nutrimetrics consultant. If you haven't, get back with them to see that, because you can see how the money's baked right in there, where you have the ability to go ahead and, you know, hire someone to be able to help. You know, it might just be something as simple as like, you know what, Sarah, I need to buy thank you cards or gift bags. So I want you to go into the Facebook group and I want you to tag me there that you did this exercise and what other questions you might have. I think this is really important. It's a simple thing, but this is how to effectively introduce products to patients and to follow up to get reorders.